We're joined right now by J.J. Picollo. What a season amidst so much disappointment. There's still so much hope, and to me it all begins with Bobby Witt Jr., the numbers, the history. Tell me about just your thoughts on what he has done and the future, the possibility of going long-term with him.
Well, we got a really special player in Bobby. I think the way he just goes about his business, there's an innocence and a humility and a passion that we saw since the day we signed him, and our scouts did a great job in identifying that. But now when you see it at the highest level for a team that's transitioning right now, I think we got our future leader and somebody we hope to have in a uniform or Kansas City Royals uniform for a long time.
Is that priority number one in the offseason to try to lock him up?
It's definitely up there. I mean, it's hard to ignore what he's done and what he can mean to this city, so we're going to work hard to try to get to that point. But I know Bobby's all ears and wants to know what we have to say, and we're anxious to get into those negotiations.
And JJ, I'm curious. I want you to share with us a little bit. I mean, you're obviously in your first year, lots of baseball experience. Matt Contreras, his staff, a lot of newness here with regards to our staff. How important or how valuable has this year been for not only you, but everybody on the staff?
Well, there's a lot of learning that we've all gone through and gone through it together. And that was something we knew when we made the decision last year that we were going with a first-time manager, first-time pitching coach, a couple other staff members, first time in the major leagues. And for me, the first time that I'm doing this as the top of baseball operations. So we've had a lot of great discussions through the years, things we can build on. There are some things we've identified that the could-haves, would-haves, should-haves that we'll do in the future. But it's a great working environment that we've established. I give Q and his staff a lot of credit. You know, when we were going into early August, you know, we had a lot of games left to play, and 60 games left to play, and this season could really turn for us if we can make it a positive, and Q did a great job keeping that clubhouse in the best frame of mind we could.
And talk a little bit about that with regards to 3 acquisitions I'm curious about. Obviously, Reagans, Velasquez, and McCarthy. What have the importance of the impact those guys have made for this team?
Well, they've had great impact. Nobody more so than Cole Reagans, because he's established himself as our #1 guy. I think, and then when you get to Velasquez, the way we acquired him was more of what I would call a baseball trade with Jose Quas going to Chicago. You know, those 2 acquisitions have been huge. And then the third one with MacArthur is kind of neat because this was something we wanted to do with this new pitching staff. When players are on waivers, when they've been DFA'd, come to us with the players you think we can help. And Brian Sweeney, Zach Bowe, Paul Gibson all worked together and said, there are things we can help with James MacArthur. They went to work, got it done, and they're 3 guys that'll be part of our future.
And let's talk a little about the starting rotation. We know how important the rotation is going to be. Do you envision this rotation evolving somewhat with regards to new personnel, or do you think the personnel, hopefully healthy personnel, is going to be the staff you're going to go with?
Yeah, I think we're at a point where we need to go and get some other pitchers that can help our starting pitcher depth. Cole will be somebody that's in the rotation. Brady Singer, we expect to be in the rotation, and Jordan Lyles. We got another year with Jordan, 180-some, you know, just about 180 innings he gave us. It has a lot of value, but we need to create competition. We need to get a couple guys that jump into the middle or top of that rotation. So we're going to be active. We need to be competitive, and it's time for this organization, our team, to take a step forward and create that competition that may come from the outside.
So let's dive into that a little bit more, obviously without specifics, but you know, you just said it. Need more help in starting pitching, probably need more help in bullpen. I think probably need maybe a corner outfielder to throw some power in there as well. Is it a free agent route? Is it a trade route? Is it a combo? Are you open to all of it?
Yeah. Well, I wish I could tell you which one it would be, but it's probably going to be a combination of all of those. You always try to hit that waiver wire. You never know what can happen, but that's more of a secondary piece right now. Trade acquisition is something we've got to look at, and then the free agent market. I think the market will take shape. We've already, if there's one silver lining to not competing in September, you get a little bit of a head start in doing your homework. So we have a target list that we'll keep building out, but I think it will be a combination of all 3 when it's all said and done.
Let's talk, I mean, if Bobby Witt Jr. is #1 or 1A or somewhere up towards the top in terms of off-season to-do lists, checklists, Salvador Perez, whatever that means, has to be right up there as well. This is so tricky, right? Because he's an institution here in Kansas City. Put him up there with Mahomes and Kelsey and George Brett and all those type of names of a Mount Rushmore too. How do you balance all of that? And I know you don't have the ultimate answer yet, but how important is he in this offseason?
Well, one of the things that we lack on this team is veteran presence. So we can't forget that Salvi brings that to our team, and that is a large part of his value right now. I think what we've got to look at with Salvi is how do we get him through the year, given his age, given how many innings. I mean, it's 10,000 innings he hit this year, caught. We have to recognize that. We see he can play first base. He's willing to play first base. Whatever we can do to get the most out of his bat will be important. And with the emergence of Freddie Fermin, I think we can do that. But we're not going to overlook the impact that Salvi can have on this team, how much he means this city. And Salvi wants to win. I mean, that's ultimately when you get Bobby and Salvi, kind of your two leaders that want to win, and that's their main objective every day, it's a good starting point.
I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit here with my final question. If you're going to go to the minor league system and name one or maybe two players who have the ability to be the next Bobby Witt Jr. or the next so-and-so pitcher, whoever it might be, who would we keep our eyes out for?
Well, last night we had Future Night here, and I think there were a couple guys in that group we can point to. Mason Barnett was just drafted last year, and everybody has raved about not just his stuff and his pitchability, but his maturity. I think it's probably somebody we need to get a look in Major League Camp next year in spring training, even though it's only his second full year. Just the way he handles himself, certain guys stand out, but I would say from a pitching standpoint, that would be somebody, along with Will Klein, big power, right-handed reliever. The bullpen, as Joel said, is something we're going to have to address. So Will Klein could be there. The guy that got everybody's attention was our George Brett Award winner, Tyler Tolbert. The versatility, the athleticism, the speed. It's the best offensive year he's had in his career. He went to Australia last year to play, and it certainly has paid off. But I think he fits how we think we need to win. Pitching, defense, athleticism, base running. He should be a part of our future as well.
By the way, Javier Vaz and Austin Charles could take over our roles if they want to give up on baseball. They shouldn't. They've got bright futures ahead. What great kids, all of them, to be able to talk to them. Here's the final question. I will not put you on the spot to ask you what Zach Greinke's future is, because I don't know who's ever been able to get into his head. I'll put it to you more this way. I'm curious what it has been like to watch him the second time around. I found myself, maybe Monty too, just appreciating every moment, even though he's not what he once was. What has it meant to have him back, and what will tomorrow mean?
Well, I think it's been great to have him on our club, around our pitchers, in our clubhouse, and absolutely fascinating to talk to him about pitching. It's the most interesting, intriguing, unpredictable conversation you can have with a guy, but it's all well thought out. He's been a pleasure to have on this team. I don't know what his plans are. You watch how much he interacts with his kids and his teammates. He loves being at the field, so I know he's not reached a point where this isn't fun for him. So I would think right now his mindset's about keep pitching and keep pushing forward. Yeah,
or maybe he's got a spot in the front office. I don't think he's going to want to join us on the broadcast crew, but that offer is out there anytime as well. I'll say this, you always learn from Zach. You're right, he's incredibly fascinating. It's been fun to watch. JJ, we appreciate the time as always. Still 2 to go, and hopefully a lot of fun here the next couple of nights.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for everything you've done this year on our broadcast as well.